closing seconds. And the following year, it was all Vince Young winning the national championship. So we're about ready to go, folks. And away we go. Preston at the goal line. Short of the 20-yard line, and so Kirk, Chad Henne, the veteran quarterback, coming out with the Michigan offense.
And Brent, you say veteran, he's making his 37th career start tonight for the Maize and Blue. And thing that I find interesting, in bowl games, you can see the decision making at the end. 7 touchdowns and 1 interception, but he has 2 losses as a starting quarterback in bowl games. 3 losses to Ohio State. He's 0-5 in the last 2 games. He wants to change that. Today is a big opportunity for him in this offense.
You can see a big offensive line leading him out. Preston will go to that slot in the left. You recognize the number 15, offset fullback. He has his choice, run or pass, much of the game after he sees the alignment. And here comes their heart and soul. Mike Hart for 11 yards on his first carry of the game. Let's take a look at this Michigan offense now. Big Jake Long. He came out. You saw him, one of the co-captains, a junior. He could go to the NFL, but he's announced he's coming back next year. Zone blocking. Those of you who haven't followed the Wolverines, it means you won't see pulling guards. And of course, Mike Hart has already carried one, the junior from Syracuse. And again, it is Mike carrying it. So 2 consecutive plays. Brian Cushing. We do want to keep an eye on a couple of linebackers from USC in this game. Brian Cushing, of course, alternates as a rush end and a drop back linebacker, and there he is. A little bit of a hip injury, but the one that Pete Carroll's most concerned about is Dallas Sartz, number 42. Can he hold up? And in that secondary, the corners, Harris and Thomas, they know that Manningham and Bruston will be coming before long. On second down, and Henne is taken down by Cushing, number 10.
And Brent, you talked about Brian Cushing hurt his knee 2 weeks ago in a scrimmage right before they went home for Christmas break. And right here, that is not really Chad Henne's game, just the straight drop back pass, Kirk.
And they brought the blitz that time, Kevin Ellison from the outside, and get used to that from Pete Carroll. You give him 3 weeks to prepare, and he will come up with numerous ways to attack a quarterback who drops back to throw.
So Ken Norton Jr. working with the Trojan linebackers on the far side. 3rd down and 14 now for Henning and the Wolverines. Incomplete. Michigan forced a punt. So after a 1st down run, the Trojan defense settles back down, and the Wolverines will punt it away.
Again, it's the pressure from Pete Carroll deciding to bring linebackers, and I think you could see early in this game they want to put pressure on Chad Henne, try to get him uncomfortable and get him out of rhythm, because when he's in rhythm, he's as accurate as any quarterback in college football.
Let's go back to punt. They came after him. No flag. Desmond Reed buried at the 35-yard line. Darnell Hood, one of the leaders of the special teams, downfield for the Wolverines on that punt. So when we come back, it will be John David Booty and the Trojan offense.
Turn it up.
Since you can get rewards with thank you points from your Citi credit card and for your everyday banking at Citibank, it's easier to get the rewards you want. Call 888-551-CITI.
Nice work on these grilled stuffed burritos, Pete.
Yeah, double beef fiesta salsa, delicious.
Super delicious. And only $1.99.
Only $1.99. This from the guy who claims he dated Carmen Electra.
And dumped Carmen
Such
Electra.
a liar.
I miss you. I miss us. Take me back. I love you.
It's true. Taco Bell's big, tasty grilled stuffed burrito with double the beef, 3 cheeses, and grilled to go.
I mean, seriously.
To get unbelievable taste for an unbelievable price, think outside the bun.
I like to live on the edge. I love the view from above. I want to do what I want, and what I want is to see it for miles and miles and miles on end. I like to live on the edge.
Introducing Edge, the all-new crossover from Ford. The Edge is never dull.
This new year, make a resolution to be more ugly.
Thank you.
You're very smart and beautiful.
All new episodes of Ugly Betty begin Thursday at 8/7 Central only on ABC.
You're watching ESPN on ABC.
Well, Coach Davey, it is John David Booty's turn here.
Well, Brent, how John David Booty reacts to the Michigan pass rush, in my opinion, is the key to this game. UCLA was able to rout them with pressure. You know Michigan is going to try to do the same exact thing.
So they run it right straight ahead with C.J. Gable, the freshman running back. We take a look at this offense. Now, Sam Baker and Kyle Williams, their 2 tackles, they had a lot of difficulty with the speed rushers from UCLA the last time out. Alan Bradford will see action at fullback, and there is big Dwayne Jarrett. You can see him on the first play. They sent Trent with him. Morgan Trent. So the Wolverines have decided to chase with that secondary. 2nd down and 6. Again, keeping it on the ground, and big hit by Jamar Adams, one of the safeties. Now defensively, Lamar Woodley, senior defensive end from Saginaw. Rondell Biggs hoping to put on heat, and they got help that time. David Harris, their leading tackler. And there is Woodley, number 56. And in that secondary, folks, Willis Behringer, who went out of the game in Columbus with an injury. Jamar, you just saw in action. Behringer, perhaps their best tackling safety. So they are much better equipped at that spot in this game. Chauncey Washington in for the first time as the tailback for the Trojans. Booty rolling hard to the right. On the move, throws to Jarrett for the first down, and Trent pushes him out of bounds.
And right away, Brent, you see the adjustment USC made since the UCLA game. They take John David Booty Kirk, instead of sitting him in the pocket, they rolled him out there and got him away from the pass rush.
And they also motioned the tight end Dale Thompson over to help out Kyle Williams after the struggles against UCLA early in the game. Help him not only moving Booty outside, but chipping there with the tight end.
Throwing straight back, deflected, bobble incomplete, out of bounds on the sideline. And talking with Ron English, the defensive coordinator of the Wolverines yesterday, he said, Bob, exactly what you pointed out. He expected John David Booty to be bootlegging and rolling out more. He said when they broke down the tape back in Ann Arbor, the John David Booty rolled out a lot more in the early part of the season. And he felt there was an injury, and that was the reason why the Trojans were keeping him in the pocket. But he said with his time off, we expect him to move a little bit more. 2nd down and 10. Screen. Well read. Harris, the middle linebacker, number 45, all over Gable.
David Harris, who the Michigan players voted their most valuable player. I think the best, one of the best linebackers of all college football. Again, Kirk, you see USC's plan, though, of trying to slow that pass rush down, coming with the screen.
Screen pass, great recognition, great instincts by David Harris all year for this Michigan defense. And the thing that I see is USC's trying to isolate those linebackers and the safeties in space to try to take advantage of the speed of the wide receivers of USC.
Davis, the tight end, flexed well off the line of scrimmage to the right on 3rd and long for Booty. Fires high and incomplete in his direction on the far side, and now it is the Trojans. You know, with these teams and schools, and you see it throughout the bowl season, Kirk, having so much time off, I've often noticed that in the first quarter of bowl games, it takes a while for especially the offenses to get their timing and their rhythm back. It takes a while to settle in after all the hype of 3 or 4 weeks, not to mention the timing that you've tried to maintain with the intensity in practice. Here's Boydneck's first punt. Takes a USC bounce if they can get to it into the end zone. It'll come out on the 20-yard line. There's big Ray Mawaluga, the middle linebacker, downfield on coverage after that 55-yard punt. So it will be the Wolverines' second possession of the game. We'll take a break. Michigan huddles up. Meanwhile, Jarrett, USC, take a break.
Camry doesn't have it. Accord doesn't have it. In fact, Ford Fusion is the only vehicle in its class to offer the intelligence of all-wheel drive. A system that delivers power to the wheels that need it when road conditions demand it. Ford Fusion, the leader in total quality, ahead of both Camry and Accord.
Okay, let's review. Sarah, you got the new cherry chocolate phone.
Thanks, Daddy.
Keith, you got the new Envy. And you both got the network. What'd Dad get?
Aftershave.
No, Dad got hosed.
You can still get what you really want at Verizon Wireless. VCast phones by LG like the Envy, the Chocolate, or these 2 fully loaded VCast phones for just $49.99. Verizon Wireless, it's the network.
Blockbuster Total Access, Netflix. Essentially, they work the same way. You order movies online. They come right to your mailbox. You watch them, then mail them back in a prepaid envelope. But what if you're thinking, let's get a new movie right away? With Netflix, you mail them back and wait. But only Blockbuster gives you the option of bringing them back to the store and exchanging them. No extra charge. Here's your new movie, sir. So you never have to wait.
That was fast.
Movies through the mail plus movies through the store, one low price. That's Blockbuster Total Access. Get your free trial at Blockbuster.com.
Exclusive coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Brought to you by Citi. It's easier to get the rewards you want. Ford, introducing the all-new Ford Edge. The Edge is never dull. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. And Verizon Wireless.
It was a fabulous morning for the Rose Parade. A year ago, got a little damp out there for some of the fans. USC Song Girls are ready now. Their defense is on the field. Here's Henney on a play fake, rolling hard to the right with a completion out of bounds. There is Sartz, and he is working on Carson Butler, the sophomore tight end from the Detroit area. There is Sartz playing despite that injury. Coach Carroll and the staff not sure how long he can go here today, and should he be forced out. Clay Matthews, a familiar name, and his daddy was a great football player, and so was his uncle. He could be coming on, seeing some action for Coach Carroll. 2nd down and 5 now for Henney. Here comes Hart. Not this time. 3rd down coming up. Let's meet Mike Hart from Syracuse.
Michael Hart, running back, University of Michigan, Syracuse, New York. I'm a video game junkie, and right now I'm on the Gears of War, Xbox 360, and can't be beat. Growing up, I was always a Barry Sanders fan, and that's one of the reasons I wear number 20. I'll be back for my senior season for 2 reasons: win the national championship and beat the Buckeyes.
And there we have it. You think we might see that?
Setting the tone.
You think that got the Buckeyes' attention? And,
setting the tone for 07. He's ready.
You kind of bowed up when you heard him say that about the Buckeyes. I noticed you flinched a little bit.
Oh, wow.
3rd down and 6 now. Here's Henney. And his receiver tripped. His receiver was working against Kerry Harris. Manningham was coming down the near side, and he tripped, lost his footing. You can take a look at it.
Well, Kirk, you talked about a little bit earlier. I think the layoff really does favor the defense. Again, I'm not sure. Great communication right there between Mario Manningham and Chad Henne.
Well, these wide receivers and Chad Henne better get on the same page, especially on third down when Pete Carroll will bring a blitz almost every single time to pressure Henne.
Zoltan Mesko to punt, but remember it was Darnell Hood who was the standout. His coverage on Reed after that punt. Under enormous pressure. Fair catch this time, and Reed will let it bounce out of bounds at about the 41-42 yard line. And so decent field position coming up for USC and John David Booty. That's only a 34-yard punt, and the Trojans are getting closer and closer to blocking one.
Anybody found it?
No. No. I got it.
We could get organized up to number 1.
Yeah.
Get started at the Home Depot. With simple, innovative solutions and smart designs, you can organize your life without messing up your budget. Only at the Home Depot.
You can do it. We can help.
Let's go. Best-in-class payload outside and a ton of comfort inside.
What are you doing? You're trashing my truck.
You serious? Sorry.
Ford F-150. Treat it right.
Now on DVD. Own the movie that'll make you laugh. Cry.
Are you crying?
Yeah. And cover your eyes. Unrated with hilarious stuff too outrageous for theaters.
Jackass number 2, it is naughty, not nice.
Built comfortable. Built strong. Built right. Wrangler 5-star premium denim jeans. Wrangler. Real, comfortable jeans.
We welcome you back to the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi. Pete Carroll and the Trojans with the ball for the second time here today. They'll start for their own 42-yard line. John David Booty, junior quarterback. Gable, and now Bradford is in the game as the fullback. Gable cuts to a hole close to midfield on first down. Let's meet quarterback John David Booty.
I'm John David Booty from Shreveport, Louisiana. I'd have to say the food that I miss the most back home is crawfish. You can't find that anywhere out here. I'm not one for fighting traffic, so I got an apartment close to campus, so I can just ride my bike to class every day. I'm actually called John David because my dad's name is John. Growing up, you know, we'd get confused calling us both John, and David being my middle name, we just added those together and got John David.
So there we have it, John David with John watching for the stand. Quick completion, putting it in Jarrett's hands, but not much doing over there as Leon Hall, their All-American corner, came up to make the stop.
No, Kirk, it'll be interesting to see how John David Booty handles the criticism coming from the UCLA game. You know, he had a great year, first year as a starter, but let's face it, the bar has been set so high here. When you lose a game like UCLA and only score 9 points, he's taking a lot of heat.
He has, and I think his offensive line should take most of the heat. He was pressured almost every time he dropped back to throw, but people forget not only losing Minor, Reggie Bush, Lindale White, 3 offensive linemen, that's hard to replace, and they've done a great job this year.
Sean Crable checks into this defense. It was a first down, play fake. Booty rolling hard to the right, going deep downfield. Got a man broken up at the last instance by Willis Behringer. The young man we told you could be a difference maker in that secondary was injured early on in Columbus against the Buckeyes.
You're going to see Morgan Trent, the corner, play in the double move. Steve Smith has him clearly beat. Kirk, the ball was a little late and a little underthrown by John David Booty.
Exactly right, Coach. Watching the play develop, it's so easy to see it from up here, but he was waiting for Smith to get clear of Trent, and he waited just a hair too long, giving Behringer enough time to come over.
2nd and 10. Draw play to Gable. Swallowed. Alan Branch, number 80. Folks, there is one of the best defensive linemen in the country. 330 pounds out of Rio Rancho, New Mexico. He's a junior, and he's going to have a decision to make after this game. He is the one star who has not said that he's coming back next year. Most every draft projection list that I have looked at puts him in the top 10 if he decides to come out. He's that good. He's a difference maker in that defensive line. 3rd down and 12.
This Michigan defense, #1 in the country in 3rd down defense.
Straight back. Jarrett snatches it down right in front of Morgan Trent. And it's a USC 1st and 10. Another junior who could have a decision to make. And that is their talented wide receiver, Dwayne Jarrett. That is 18 yards.
Well, we know John David Booty is capable of making these kind of throws, Kirk, if he gets protection, and he got good pass protection right there.
That's what it's going to come down to today for this USC offense, whether or not John David Booty has the time to throw. I think SC feels very, very confident with the wide receivers, including Dwayne Jarrett, going up against this Michigan secondary.
And now he holds the USC receiving record. Mike Brittingham in as the fullback. Looking right at him, coming out of the backfield, got him. He crosses the 20-yard line. Tim Jamison back there on coverage. So Booty and the Trojans are into the red zone.
And USC with so many injuries this year at fullback, I think 3 fullbacks injured. Mike Brittingham out of the backfield. That's a new name, Brent. We've done a lot of USC games this year.
He's a special teams guru that they've had to go so far down. He's a walk-on, and he's a guy that gives you great effort that time there to make the catch.
Washington in at the tailback. Booty going to keep it in the air. Incomplete, fired high to his target. That was Fred Davis, the tight end. So there are the Booties who've come from Louisiana. John and Sonia, mom and dad. Brothers are also right alongside.
You know, Booty followed 2 Heisman Trophy winners here at USC. He followed 2 high school national players of the year in high school, Brock Berlin, and then his brother Josh. So this guy's used to playing behind some great players.
Gable replaces Chauncey as the tailback. This is 2nd down and 10. And Gable can't get past the defensive line that time. Will Johnson, a junior nose man, makes the stop.
Kirk, you kind of see the plan. Throw on running downs, 1st and 10, then come back and draw or screen on 2nd and long passing downs.
We've talked so much in this first quarter about USC and their struggles the last time out on offense and protecting the quarterback. We failed to mention how Michigan's defense really struggled against Troy Smith and Ohio State, allowing 316 yards through the air that game, including 4 touchdown passes.
And this is how the Buckeyes burned that defense. They spread the field. They go empty. 5 targets on 3rd down. Booty, short drop. Jarrett. And lost the ball, but I believe he was down. Yes, he's marked down at the 9-yard line. That is short of the 1st down.
But, Brent, you said it. That 5-wide empty look, 25 times Ohio State did that against USC. Well, Ron English says, listen, I was patient against Ohio State. That didn't work. I'm going to blitz it, and they blitzed it that time.
That time, you're right. They brought more than the USC offensive line could handle, forcing Booty to get rid of it probably before he was ready, and they come up a little bit short of the 1st down.
And so Mario Daniello is on the field here. This will be a 26-yarder. Trying to put SC ahead. And on a perfect day, he's right down the middle. Trojans lead it by a field goal. It's the 93rd Rose Bowl game presented by Citi.
This Friday, there's some serious super spy stuff going on here. It's what I do. When the action's this dangerous, you need a partner this hot.
Woo! Hey.
Crazy, but fine. Some special forces like Black Rambo.
Okay, Blambo.
We gon' die. Cedric the Entertainer, Lucy Liu.
Are you just gonna stand there and watch?
Hell yeah. Codename The Cleaner.
Super spy.
Rated PG-13. starts Friday.
Honey,
Yeah?
do you know what this light switch does?
Which one?
The one on the right.
I never used that one.
All right, will you look?
Yep.
On, off, on.
No.
Are you looking?
Yes.
Off, on, off, on, off, on, off, on, off.
Life comes at you fast. When it does, nobody covers your car like Nationwide. Investments, retirement, insurance.
Nationwide is on your side.
I want it all. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. I want it all. I want it all. And I want it now. I want it all.
Want it all? Then you'll love the 23 flavors packed into the one bold taste of Dr. Pepper.
Wednesday, February 7th. Lost returns at a brand new time. 10/9 Central. 16 new episodes. No repeats. The return of Lost. Wednesday, February 7th, 10/9 Central. Only on ABC.
Well, be sure to tune in after the game for the Built Ford Tough post-game show here from Pasadena. 3-0 lead for the Trojans, and their defense has stopped the Wolverines stone cold so far in this game. Michigan had one first down if you just turned on the television, and that was their first offensive play of the game for Lloyd Carr. Beeler with the ball on the tee to kick it off. And last time out, Rustin was well defended short of the 20-yard line. Beeler hung that one up in the air, which gave the coverage unit time to get downfield. We talk about punts being up in the air, but sometimes these kickoff fellas can get them up there too. Deep drive. Let this one go out of the end zone. Well, the Wolverines enjoying a fabulous season until the very end. 11-1 overall with only that one bitter loss in Columbus. They routed Notre Dame, and that put the show on the road. They won their first 11 games for the 6th time in Michigan school history. And then the shootout, the classic, 42-39. And they were jumped first by USC and then by Florida. This is their 20th Rose Bowl appearance. They've lost 2 of the last 3 years to Texas and to this USC team. Remember, that was the year that USC won the Associated Press National Championship. The BCS went to LSU as they defeated Oklahoma in New Orleans. 3:44 now. Quick snap to the outside. And on that far side, Mario Manningham with his first catch of the game. So they get him going.
Michigan, their own little change up there, going with an empty backfield coach, trying to get the ball out to the outside to Manningham. It worked out very nicely.
I'll tell you, Lloyd Carr made a strong statement the other day when we visited him. Mario Manningham, Brent, the most explosive wide receiver he's ever seen at Michigan. Kirk, they've had a few at Michigan.
Oh, yeah. Well, he probably has the best moves on that second move on a route as any receiver in the country.
Hart back in the game with Will Paul as his fullback. Crosses the 40-yard line. Running behind big Jake Long, number 77 over there on that left side.
And you want to see zone blocking. This is zone blocking right here. Michigan only has 2 plays. They don't have many plays, but they have a lot of players, and that's what you call zone blocking.
And for people at home, you're just trying to take that defensive line and take them to the sideline and get up to the second level with your offensive line to get to the linebackers, and the back has to be patient to find that crease, and Mike Hart is very good at that.
And he wants to put it up on the 2nd down. Got his first down. Snapped it off to the 46-yard line. Tyler Ecker, tight end, senior, playing in his final Michigan game.
And Mike Hart is an undersized guy, but watch this block right there. He gets Lawrence Jackson, the defensive end, down on the ground.
Lawrence Jackson, 6'5", 265 pounds. I'm always amazed to watch Mike Hart in person, to have a full appreciation. Yeah, he got his left arm up there a little bit, but it's the courage to go down on one of the better defensive ends in the Pac-10.
2 tight ends. Running formation for Hart. Again behind Jake Long. And this time, Cedric Ellis, their fine defensive lineman, was all over the running back.
You know, we looked at that Michigan timeline. Remarkable when you think they were 7-5 last year. But the players the other day told me the difference this year, we all know a lot about the conditioning that, but Lloyd Carr has loosened up a lot more funnier around the play. Now you can't, he's not Jim Carrey or Will Ferrell now. But he's loosened up a lot this year.
Different feel and a different vibe around this Michigan team.
Arrington is the wide receiver to the left. Henney wants to throw the dump it off to Hart in underneath. So out in the flat, but this is short of the first down. This will be third down as Terrell Thomas, the corner, makes the play defensively.
Trying to get after Chad Henne again with a blitz. This time Keith Rivers, and Henne getting rid of the ball. Had what they wanted, but a nice tackle in the open field that time by Harris. Every third down up to this point, we've seen some form of a linebacker or safety blitz. Let's see what they decide to do here with this USC defense.
3 wideouts. Arrington's the slot man. Henne changes it up. He's given a lot of freedom. That's how much he understands the offense and the other team's defense. He'll throw to Breston in underneath for the first down. Busted out of bounds at the 36-yard line.
And Kerry Harris, number 7, bailed out on that, and it was really an easy throw and catch for Chad Henne and Steve Breston.
I'm just shocked on 3rd and 5 when you bring in a linebacker that you would give him a 15-yard cushion on Steve Breston. Very easy throw for Chad Henne. First down for Michigan. Too soft a cushion that time by Kerry Harris.
And 12 yards for the passing game. First down and 10 for the Wolverines, their most impressive drive of the afternoon. Sartz sacks him down at the 44-yard line.
And Pete Carroll on 1st and 10 brings the corner and also Dallas Sartz, the linebacker. We go ahead and let it roll. You're going to see the corner, and here comes Sartz also on the blitz.
And I think that corner blitz really confused Reuben Riley and Alex Mitchell, the right side of the offensive line. Some confusion there, and it freed up Sartz, one of their better pass rushers, when he does come on the blitz.
Breston is now slotted to the left on 2nd down and long. Here comes Hart. Stopped at the 45-yard line and hit by Oscar Lua, the senior from Indio. Makes a big hit. One of the veterans, extremely well liked by the coaching staff. So the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi reaches the end of the first quarter. It's 3-0 USC, and we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Camry doesn't have it. Accord doesn't have it. In fact, Ford Fusion is the only vehicle in its class to offer the intelligence of all-wheel drive. A system that delivers power to the wheels that need it when road conditions demand it. Ford Fusion, the leader in total quality, ahead of both Camry and Accord.
Got Singular?
No, Sprint.
Sprint mobile broadband downloads 5 times faster than Singular's Edge.
Well, I'm done.
Because in business, it pays to keep moving. Get the power of the nation's largest mobile broadband network. Get a free mobile broadband card. Visit sprint.com/mobile broadband.
Sprint. Power up.
What's going on, Sanchez?
It's Nelson. He's pruning.
Oh, come on. The game's on.
Get him out of there.
Welcome to the Bud Light bunker, Nelson. What do you guys do down here?
Nothing.
Sweet.
Refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
We got a bogey.
Get him out of there.
Wednesday, they were living the life. Now they need to get a life. Get ready to roll with the punches. Stay on your game.
Oh my God, I'm sleeping with my best friend's mother.
And hang on for dear life.
I thought you had it.
In case of emergency.
Mr. Green has a very clean and healthy colon, which is good because it means he's been brushing daily.
A new comedy premieres Wednesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central, only on ABC.
We believe that by seeing you when you're healthy, we can help keep you that way. Kaiser Permanente. Thrive.
Discover ABC 7 News.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi. And our aerial coverage brought to you by Goodyear Tires, featuring triple tread technology. We come to the end of the first quarter without a single penalty. The Trojans kicking a field goal, leading it 3-0. Michigan, having mounted its best drive, has been thrust back to the 44, and now they face a 3rd and 16. 3 wide receivers. And he steps away from the pressure, fires down the middle, got his first down, I believe. Mario Manningham.
Obviously, anytime you get to 3rd and long, you need time for the plays to be able to develop and the receivers to get downfield. Interesting, Kerry Harris, the corner, sits to the outside, knowing that he has help from Taylor Mays, the true freshman Mays, late in coming over, giving Manningham plenty of time to get the first down.
What happened? They were in zone coverage. When Chad Henne stepped up, the linebacker stepped up and voided the zone in behind him. He threw it in behind him.
The freshman Brandon Miner from Richmond, Virginia checks in. And nothing much doing on his first carry. There's Ellis.
It's a challenge for those linebackers, huh, Coach? They got to get back there on 3rd and long.
I tell you guys notice how similar these two teams are schematically. They're like watching the exact same offense when either team has the football.
Yep. That's probably would have helped a lot in their preparation. We were talking about their timing. They probably went a lot ones against ones because of that very issue. The fact that both are pretty similar on both sides of the ball.
Mike Hart returns as the Michigan running back. Arrington's the motion receiver. Deep drop, in trouble, has to try and drop it off. Incomplete. He had a tight end, Tyler Ecker, in the neighborhood, so that was not intentional grounding.
One of the decisions that Lloyd Carr made coming into this year was to make a change in the coaching staff. We talked a lot about Ron English, but Mike DeBoer, the offensive coordinator from Michigan, has done a tremendous job this year for the Wolverines. It's always a goal for an offense like this, kind of a pro-style offense, to have balance. 189 yards rushing per game, 186 passing, and that balance has gotten them to this point.
Brian Cushing is off the field on this 3rd down. In zone. Knocked away. Arrington was the intended target, and Mosique McCurtis.
McCurtis pretty fortunate that the ball was thrown low enough that there wasn't enough air underneath it, because Arrington had him beat, but it hits him in the back of the shoulder pad.
And Mosique McCurtis, fortunate, never really looked back to that football, but as you said it hit him in the back of the head.
Yeah, Nick Holt said that's usually your head. 4th down now. Garrett Rivas for a 43-yarder to tie it. And with the fans from Michigan watching, he knocks the score with 13:35 to go in the first half. Michigan and USC, the 93rd Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi.
Hi, Chris.
Hello.
If there were a store in your town called Peace of Mind, would you pay it a visit? Across America, in towns big and small, there is such a place. New York Life. It starts with our values of financial strength, integrity, and humanity, and continues with our agents. So look for us in your town. You may already know our people, and we are confident that peace of mind is why New York Life is the company you keep.
Inspired by a true story of the world's most terrifying serial killer. He has claimed over 300 victims.
I shot him again and again. He refused to die.
He remains at large.
We're going to show people what's happening here.
On January 12th, in a remote corner of Africa,
I realized we could die here.
The hunt for a killer begins.
No!
Primeval. Rated R.
Some friends need a little help, but these friends need life support.
I'm sorry.
Harry, it's your house.
Right. You stay as long as your legs.
In Case of Emergency, a new comedy premieres Wednesday, 9:30, 8:30 Central.
It's toothpaste.
Only on ABC.
Well, here's program reminder. The Knights of Prosperity, 5 regular Joes coming up with a perfect plan to finance their dreams. They're going to rob Mick Jagger. New comedy coming to ABC Wednesday at 9/8 Central. You folks, you Notre Dame fans, you might want to set the TiVo for that one.
Yeah, Brent, we had a chance to watch that the other night. You know, I'm pretty easy to get along with. I liked it. Even a tough critic like you. You came away from that enjoying that show, didn't you?
Is he pretty tough?
Oh, he's brutal. But, I mean, it brought a smile to his face now.
I
He
did.
enjoyed it.
I like the fact that Mick Jagger made fun of himself in there. I thought that was the best part of it. You know, I'd like to know what kind of a check they had to write him to do that. Though. Here's a kickoff now, and it is fielded at the 4 by Gable, the freshman, looking for daylight. Makes a fine return to the 33-yard line. Matt Leinart, one of the Heisman Trophy winners, rookie in the National Football League with the Arizona Cardinals, as we see the timeline for the Trojans. Not only Leinart, but Bush and Lindell White gone. So John David Booty and a running back committee opened it up, won their first 6 games, and then in Corvallis, Oregon State, Coach Riley got it done. Won his next 4. Beat up on some pretty good teams and then lost in a shocker to UCLA. But this is their 31st Rose Bowl appearance. 21 wins. Here they are. First down and 10. Deadlock. John David Booty, their junior quarterback. He'll be back next year. So many of the stars on these 2 teams will be back next year. That's why many of the experts across the country fully believe that the winner of this game will wind up the preseason #1. Remember, a year ago, down at the Fiesta Bowl, it was Ohio State beating up on Notre Dame. They rode that to a #1 ranking. Now, what's important about that? You say, well, let me tell you something. If you start out #1 and you happen to lose early, it's much easier to climb back up than if you start down there. Think of where Michigan had to start, all the way down from 14th. They were put down as the season started. So it is important, even though coaches don't like to talk about it. Second down and 9 after the run by Gable. Jarrett again in front of Leon Hall and very close to a first down.
Brent, you talk about those juniors deciding to come back. That's one guy, Dwayne Jarrett, right there, that most people think is going to come out in the NFL draft. This is a huge game. I mean, this is a money game for him today, Kirk, because he struggled the last time out against UCLA.
I don't know if he happened to see Calvin Johnson earlier today, but if he did, he realizes he better step up a little bit, because Calvin Johnson and Dwayne Jarrett, if they come out, are the top 2 receivers in the country.
Steve Smith lined up in the backfield. They used him as a decoy, and they lined up Alan Bradford, the fullback. And that was number 21, has been very, very impressive in the Trojan practices. Pete Carroll warning us yesterday that they were going to get Bradford onto the field, and he picks up the first down. They had Smith lined up back at that tailback spot that time.
You know, you could talk about Dwayne Jarrett. Keyshawn Johnson told him to stay in school. Flat said he's not ready right now to come out in the NFL.
Keyshawn just doesn't want extra competition. He tells every receiver to stay. Right? That's exactly. First down and 10. Play fake, Gable. Middle, and hung on to. Beautiful catch by Chris McFoy.
thought that was an unbelievable catch by McFoy because he didn't look back to the football till the last second. He didn't expect the ball to come to him.
But the key here is the play action. They've been running. Look at the linebackers right there come up on C.J. Gable, giving a nice hole for the quarterback Booty to throw it right over top of the linebackers. And a nice job looking back by McFoy. Catch that football and be prepared to be hit by Barringer.
First down. And right straight ahead into the heart of that Wolverine defense that time. C.J. Gable.
We talk mindset in college football all the time. Michigan's defense, arguably one of the finest defenses in the country, if not the best defense. And we wondered, how would USC's offensive line, after the game they had against UCLA, how would they perform against Allen Branch and Lamar Woodley? And through the first quarter plus, they've held their own. It really makes you wonder if that was more mental in their approach against UCLA than it was physical.
Well, Pete Carroll said, and Lane Kiffin said, they just weren't prepared to play.
They were not there.
UCLA.
Yep.
4 wide, thrown behind the receiver, and it'll be third down. Let's check in down below with Lisa.
Well, Brent, you were talking about Dwayne Jarrett. He says that he is about 50-50 about whether he's going to actually stay for his senior season or turn pro. He says he'll go home after this game, go to New Jersey, and make the decision with his family. He says everyone has an opinion, and he's right. Coach Davey was right. Keyshawn Johnson, I talked to him today, and Keyshawn said, you know what, as a player, in my opinion, Dwayne Jarrett is just not ready for the NFL. Keyshawn said, no disrespect, I'm just trying to tell the truth. He's not physical enough. He can play on Sundays, but he's not going to be an impact player right now at the next level.
Saw that with Mike Williams. He wasn't ready.
Third down and 8. Slant for the first down. In Williams' case, let me go back on that story. Pete Carroll had told me he's not fast enough for the NFL, and then he wound up thinking he was going to get to go because of Maurice Clarett, and he had to sit out an entire year. He made a terrible mistake as far as his football future is concerned. I find him an entirely different topic than Dwayne Jarrett. I think Dwayne Jarrett, I don't agree with Keyshawn Johnson, to tell you the truth. Now, if he comes back to school, that's wonderful. That's fine. But I think he is ready physically if he wants to try it. First down. He could go after the jump ball as well as any receiver in college football.
And he's starting to separate now from defenders more than he did early in his career.
John Davis in trouble. Fumble. Ball loose. Wolverines have got it. And that is big Allen Branch. Sean Crable ripped it loose.
Well, Ron English takes a chance here as USC starts to drive deep into Michigan territory. They bring all the linebackers on a blitz. It allows Crable to get there, Harris to get there. The offensive line that time not prepared, and Branch comes up with the recovery for the Wolves.
Our first turnover of the afternoon. And the Wolverines duck a bullet.
Sweet ride. Yeah. That was amazing. Let's do it.
Since you can get rewards with thank you points from your Citi credit card and for your everyday banking at Citibank, it's easier to get the rewards you want. Call 888-551-CITI.
See me driving down the street. I'm bored with looking good. 'Cause I'm a punk rocker, yes I am.
Blockbuster Total Access, Netflix. Essentially, they work the same way. You order movies online. They come right to your mailbox. You watch them, then mail them back in a prepaid envelope. But what if you're thinking, let's get a new movie right away? With Netflix, you mail them back and wait. But only Blockbuster gives you the option of bringing them back to the store and exchanging them. No extra charge.
Here's your new movie, sir.
So you never have to wait.
That was fast.
Movies through the mail plus movies through the store, one low price. That's Blockbuster Total Access. Get your free trial at Blockbuster.com.
Exclusive coverage of the Rose Bowl game presented by Citi. Brought to you by Citi. It's easier to get the rewards you want. Chevrolet, an American revolution. Blockbuster Total Access, now offering movies through the mail, plus movies through the store. And Aflac, ask about it at work.
The skyline of Los Angeles in the background as we pull back over the hills to Pasadena. Between this stadium and downtown Los Angeles, Dodger Stadium. We just had our first turnover of this game. Neither team has a penalty. And the running game unable to get it going to the Michigan side.
And Ron English saying he wanted to get more aggressive. Here come the linebackers, Harris, and it's really Crable coming in and applying the pressure. And this offensive line this time, two of the tight ends going out. They did not recognize the blitz, and he dials up a maximum blitz with the linebackers on 1st and 10.
And a huge difference in this football game is turnover margin. Michigan number 2 in the country. USC all the way down number 42 in the country as far as turnover margin.
Clay Matthews is in the game. The sophomore. 2nd down. Henney's in trouble. Sacked again. Cushing back on the field. In there along with Keith Rivers. So Brian Cushing with his 2nd big play of the afternoon.
It's a 3-step drop. The quarterback wants to get rid of the ball quickly. And the only problem is when Rivers comes on the blitz, Maualuga gets right into the throwing lane of the quarterback, Chad Henne. Right there, he sees Maualuga, forces him to hold on to the football and giving the pressure time to get after the quarterback.
Yeah, you're never going to ask Mike Hart to hold that block that long. That ball should have been out of there, Kirk.
Need 15 on this 3rd down. Steps up, fires, and he's got his 1st down in the middle of the field. Preston working against Ray. Maualuga, number 58, the sophomore from Eureka, California.
And the great thing Chad Henne did again, he stepped up. He didn't look to scramble. He steps up to make the throw. That's the toughest thing on a defense right there.
It's the 2nd time, Coach, that we've seen this on 3rd down and long. The offensive line doing a great job giving Henne the time and the ability to step into the pocket towards the defense, and the defense was not able to stop his wide receivers again from the 3rd down conversion.
So a 22-yard gain for the Wolverines, and a deep drop under pressure. Sacked again. 3rd time he's been sacked today. This time by Terrell Thomas coming off the corner, number 28. Cushing with a pair and Thomas with 1.
We keep saying blitz and blitz and blitz. Both these teams are coming up with pressure packages. This time it's a corner blitz from Terrell Thomas. The offensive line and the backs not on the same page. An easy sack that time for Thomas, Coach.
Well, what happens? Both offenses are trying to keep the defenses off balance by throwing on 1st and 10, but the defensive coordinators know that, so they blitz them on 1st and 10.
Let me correct myself. That's the 4th. I had forgotten the Sarge sack also earlier. So that's the 4th sack of the game. 2nd down and 18 for Henne and the Wolverines. Minor going nowhere. 3rd down and long. Cushing, another stop.
This offensive line has struggled here early in this game of giving their quarterback consistent time to throw the football. Brent just brought it up. 4 sacks already, and we're not even to the half. It reminds me so much of the Rose Bowl from a couple of years ago where USC sacked Michigan 9 times. John Navarre was dropping back, and every time he dropped back, he was on his back.
Henne's had a couple of big 3rd down strikes. Needs another one here. Needs 15 yards. Needs to reach the Wolverine 48. Instead, the 5th sack of the game. This one by Ellis. The first by a defensive lineman.
And Cedric Ellis, who was voted the defensive lineman of the year by the other players in the Pac-10, comes up with the next sack.
This time it's again a little bit of a stunt. They move Jackson to the outside, again creating havoc, creating confusion, making an offensive line go from being aggressive to be hesitant. When you get an offensive line hesitant, you can apply pressure on the quarterback every single time he drops back.
Let's see how close they get to this punt. Desmond Reed awaits a return. They should have good field position, so they really don't put an all-out press on it. Desmond's got it with his 29-yard line for the Trojans. To the sideline where he is stopped. And that was David Harris, the middle linebacker, coming down on punt coverage that time. So we'll take a break. We're deadlocked at 3. The storyline, defense dominating this game.
The dream is still alive. Someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
This is our truck. The 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Chevy Silverado.
Help! Help! I'm hurt and can't work. I need help to pay my rent, car payment, and electric bill.
You! Do something!
My bills! My hero.
Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Once upon a time, there was this idea. One of those proverbial big ideas. An idea so big that it needed help making the leap between possibility and reality. This big idea, it's your idea. Now who's going to help you make it real?
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl game, presented by Citi. You know, folks, we'd like to acknowledge Bill Johnstone, the chairman of the Rose Bowl Management Committee. He's responsible for the overall management of this great game. He will leave his post here today, tournament member for more than 4 decades. And what a wonderful gentleman he is. And he has, through the years, really taken care of ABC television and taken the lead in the tournament's relationship with the BCS. And we got to thank Bill for his many years of service. He is just a grand gentleman. First down and 10 for John David Booty and the Trojans. Coming with Gable on first down, trying to run the ball. And let's take a little moment here for our Aflac trivia question. Kirk, you weren't around when we came up with this one, but who was the last Michigan Wolverine to have his jersey number retired? You might have a little problem remembering that, but we'll see.
Yeah, I may have. Oh, I love you. Every time I come up here.
Well, you leave me
I can count on
you
it.
leave me alone. You know, I'm going to get you now. Second down. Quick snap to Jarrett. Jarrett breaking free of Morgan Trent for a couple of additional yards, close to midfield on that play, and enough for a first down. Not a single penalty yet in this football game.
You have to love the way this USC offense, I know they only have 3 points, but they have bounced back from that UCLA game. A lot of people felt like they needed to get their swagger back. You kind of feel them starting to get that back right now.
Well, certainly on their defense with those 5 sacks, Coach, huh? First down and 10, and here's the handoff to the freshman. Not much doing there into the heart of the defense. And you can see Burgess is there with Terrence Taylor. Terrence, big old defensive lineman, number 67. There's John David Booty. He'll be back to quarterback the Trojans next year. And Taylor will come off to the side now. Hand signals coming in from Sarkisian on the far side. He'll look at the wristband. There he is. Sarkisian and Lane Kiffin dialing up the plays. Second down, 9 yards to go. 2 wideouts. Washington. And here's the running back. That's Smith going through the formation. And here comes Washington. Ran up the back of his own man because I'll tell you what, Branch is just blowing them up. You mentioned it, Kirk, during the commercial break that that offensive line got hands full with number 80 now.
Well, the young sophomore Shiloh Rochelle has the unfortunate assignment going head-to-head against number 80 Alan Branch. And it is early in this game has been a clinic where Branch is just pushing him time after time into the backfield of USC.
And Brent, let's go back to what Lloyd Carr told us his advice was for Alan Branch. He said, I don't know if you're coming out. I don't know if you're coming back to Michigan, but you need to have a great game in this Rose Bowl. It's in your best interest.
3rd down and 9, and so far he has played a great game.
Michigan had 10 defenders on the field. They're very fortunate that SC didn't get the ball snapped there.
That's their first time out.
And they noticed it down on the field, Kirk, just like you did.
Yeah.
And they called that timeout from the sideline. So they'll huddle up and try to get straightened out here with 11 against John David Booty and the Trojans.
That's not going to make Ron English very happy, the miscommunication.
Oh, it would have made him less happy if they'd have snapped that ball.
Right. Timeout.
We've all seen them. The makeup artist. The dedicated investor. Mr. Change Your Pants while driving. Multitasking doubles your risk of an accident. Do it a little less, and now Allstate will give you a bonus. Cash off your renewal bill for every 6 months you don't have an accident. Part of Your Choice Auto, only from Allstate. It's time to make the world a better place to drive. That's Allstate, Stan. Are you in good hands?
The dream is still alive, someday it will come true. And this country, it belongs to folks like me and you. So let the voice of freedom sing out through this land. This is our country.
This is our truck. The 2007 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The all-new Chevy Silverado.
A tradition of courage, a tradition of character, a tradition of champions. Year after year, the student athletes of the Pacific 10 Conference display excellence, not only in the arena of competition, they go on to excel in the arena of life. 10 distinguished institutions with opportunities for higher learning as vast as the Pacific itself. Be a part of a great tradition, the Pacific 10 Conference, the Conference of Champions.
Well, it's time for that Aflac answer, and if you're a Michigan fan, you know the answer to this one. The last Michigan Wolverine to have his jersey number retired, the late President Gerald Ford, number 48, and Bob Davie is still trying to think of another 48 around the country.
No, I have one because I coached one at Texas A&M.
Oh, okay.
With the bet I made to Brent was, I bet you can't name another player that wore number 48.
Well, he may have been the best right there now. Gerald Ford, they tried to get him to go to the NFL, as you know.
Exactly.
He turned him down and went to law school at Yale. And then was a longtime congressman from the state of Michigan and became president of the United States when the late Richard Nixon stepped away. What a nice man. Gerald Ford used to come around ball game. He was such a nice man. John David Booty, far side incomplete. No receiver down there.
Was still a little confusion there from Michigan. Rondell Biggs unsure and going back to the left and back to the right before the snap. He's now walking off the field and talking with Brandon Harrison. I think there was still a little confusion, and Michigan fortunate it did not catch up to them there.
These offenses are so well coached that confusion confused John David Booty. So it was probably a pretty good defensive call.
Yeah. Go out there and look lost.
One thing that's been good so far has been the tackling by both these teams. Woidnick does not get off a good punt. And it's going to be down at the 26-yard line. Breston was back there, and he was probably very conscious of number 15, and that's only a 24-yard punt. So we'll take a break in the first half. The Rose Bowl in Pasadena on a beautiful Monday afternoon. Happy New Year, everybody.
Okay, see you later.
Sweet ride. Yeah, that was amazing. Let's do it.
I'm good. Since you can get rewards with thank you points from your Citi credit card and for your everyday banking at Citibank, it's easier to get the rewards you want. Call 888-551-CITI.
It's a new comedy about Robin the Hood of the rich and famous.
I'm Kelly.
Are you Sally Jesse Raphael?
Bob Saget!
That's me, Bob Saget. The Knights of Prosperity, a new comedy, premieres Wednesday at 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Welcome back to the Rose Bowl, everyone. John Saunders here with Craig James and Doug Flutie. Coming up at halftime, we're going to break down the first half.
Well, including looking at USC's defense. Question mark for me was, would they show up? I'll show you exactly what they've done.
Oh, yeah, they've got 5 sacks. They got to get this quick rhythm passing in this game. We're going to have a lot of sacks in this game.
Low scoring, a bit of a surprise. We'll talk about that. Plus, we'll show you highlights of all the other games played today. Right now, back up to Brent.
Doug and Craig, go get my man some hot tea, a little honey in it. Take care of it. I'll tell you what, John, he's playing a little hurt today, isn't he? Huh? Yeah. He's a gamer now, John Saunders. We'll hear from the fellows at halftime. 2:13 to go here in the first half. First down and 10. Reaching for the handoff. Here's Hart, who's had very little running room. This USC defense determined to take number 20 away. That's 8 carries for 16 yards. Average only 2 yards a carry against this rough defense with Keith Rivers there, number 55.
So we could talk all we want about rhythm, passing, and what they need to do as far as giving Henny time to throw. I think it comes down to Mike DeBoer being able to establish the run in this second. Once we get into this halftime, moving into the second half, Michigan's offense cannot function without Mike Hart establishing some rhythm to then go back to Chad Henne and have the balance within that offense.
Empty. Throw it to Preston. Short of the first down marker. Clay Matthews is back there.
And Kirk, what you say is exactly right. I mean, let's face it, Michigan is a run-first offense. They run the ball about 64% of the time. I thought Michigan, quite honestly, would be able to run the ball on USC. But I'll tell you what, USC's defense has done a great job.
You know, remember at the top of the broadcast, I said that Pete Carroll was concerned about Dallas Sartz. He had a sack early, but he has not been on the field for some time as Clay Matthews steps in. So we'll have to keep an eye on that story. 3rd down and 2. Here's Hart. Won't get it. Blown up first by Kerry Harris, the corner. Terrific job by the corner on run support there, Kirk.
Absolutely. Harris is there to fill the void there. Kevin Ellison is a team guy himself. He takes on the block from the fullback. It frees up Harris to come in, and then the rest of the defense from USC. And, Coach, you can see the speed and pursuit of that defense.
Kirk, and again, these two offenses so similar. There is no surprises in this game for these defenses, and they are teeing off right now.
USC will take its first time out of the game. A 4th down coming up. We want to see what they can do with the few remaining seconds. Well, fans, help decide the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. Go to ESPN.com, and don't we all go there for scores, the highlights, all that stuff. And you vote there. Search Pontiac, I guess, is what you latch on to now to determine which school will win the $100,000 General Scholarship Fund contribution, courtesy of Pontiac. And those are some pretty good game-changing performances right there. Those 4. Kirk, you got any favorites among those 4? Which way would you go there?
The game that I left for game day to come up to join you guys in Happy Valley. Remember the night Penn State played Michigan? The game Florida and Auburn, when Auburn came up with a big play there, that one sticks out to me. But there's so many great plays all year this year.
Let's talk a little bit about defense now.
Oh,
how about the defense in this game? And you know what defense is about? Having good players and recognition of what the offense is going to do. And because these offenses are so similar, these defenses are getting after it.
Imagine having a long layoff and then playing the best defenses that you've seen all year.
Well, and Brent made the point. The tackling in this game has been outstanding, and that was the big concern coming in, particularly for Michigan, who didn't tackle well against Ohio State.
Let's go back to punt again. Booms this one. And Reed signals early for a fair catch. I guess he wants to give the offense as many seconds as he can on that clock here with time running out. 29 seconds to go. 54-yard punt. So now John David Booty, when you're thinking, of course, of the big target, Dwayne Jarrett, Steve Smith is more the precise route runner. And if they can get Jarrett downfield, of course, the Wolverines are very aware of this. Their secondary will back off the line here, coach, a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Lamar Woodley's going to get all those cleats in the ground right now and rush that passer if Booty hangs back there too long. I think USC may just run this thing out.
And they did. They didn't like their field position. They did just that, coach. C.J. Gable, the freshman running back. So I don't believe I've seen a half in a long time. We didn't have a single penalty in this game, folks. We had a couple of field goals. We also didn't have a single touchdown. But trust me, it'll get explosive in the second half here before this one's done. Oh, the Wolverines coming off to the near side dressing quarters. Let's go down to Lisa with Coach Pete Carroll.
Thanks a lot, Brent. Coach, 5 sacks by your defense. You got to be pleased. How has your defense been able to get so much pressure in on Henny?
Well, the guys are hitting the stuff real well. You know, we've been coming after him a little bit, and we've been fortunate that the guys are popping, and then just when we're not, we're getting good heat. So we're pretty fortunate right now. They're going to change up some stuff. We better bring some new things in the second half.
All right, thanks a lot. Now let's send it over to Bonnie Bernstein.
Coach, your line's allowed just 18 sacks of Henny the entire season. What's USC done to penetrate so well?
They're doing a great job penetrating, and we've had a hard time running the football, and certainly we've got to do a better job protecting the quarterback. We've had some guys open, but we just haven't had enough time to throw the ball.
Speaking of your running back, 100-yard games are pretty much the norm for Mike Hart. How do you open up the lanes a little bit more?
Well, we got to block them, and it's pretty simple.
All right, Coach, thank you. Brent.
Bonnie, thank you. 5 sacks resulted in 33 yards of losses. So stay tuned for the Pontiac Performance halftime show with John Saunders, Craig James, and Doug Flutie after this message and a word from our